on, Alice. Come and say hello on stream. Come on. Nah, she's alright. Bit shy. Yeah. Okay. There's probably a bit of stuff that she can get into trouble with. Don't stand on my keyboard. Power supply's not hooked up, so don't panic. She's going to go and spy on the neighbours. Righto. Okay. Now, I had some funny things going on with this Syquest. Not really all that funny. Let me explain. This little switch here sits in the back. This is your ID selector. And it sits down in this little, there's a little slot down here. This one. And I noticed that when I was configuring the IDs, that they didn't match what was showing on the little counter here. So I didn't have it written down. I've misplaced it, but it was something like, you know, ID 2 here was actually ID 4 on the drive, or ID 0 was like ID 1, and ID 1 was 3. It was sort of, it wasn't correlating to anything, and I wondered whether it might have just been that the, you know, the connector was incorrectly, this end of the connector here, which Alice is playing with, that connector. I was wondering whether that was maybe just plugged in the wrong way onto these ID selector pins down here on the back of the actual drive itself. So I buzzed it all out, and I drew a little diagram here, and I just couldn't quite. Yeah, hey Cassie. I don't know, she's going to be in and out maybe. Might be a bit of a pain, but we'll see how we go. I buzzed this out. This is the little diagram I made here. Basically, there's it's basically just binary, right? So on this end of the switch here, you've got, if we can focus there, I've modified it to fix it, but you'll see there's a common on the right here. That's a common, and then the next pin in is 8. The next one's 4, 2, and 1, correspondingly. Yeah, and you can see that I've actually soldered these two here, which were disconnected. Someone had chopped them. They were chopped a little bit short, so that's why I've sort of done this here. And I brought those two up to the common, and because the way I saw this was, when I had it switched to 1, right, this is the lead out to the common. So common was connected with 1 at the selector switch, but my thinking was that these needed to be connected, these two here, like you're putting a jumper on it, right? And they weren't. And so likewise with 2, and likewise with 4, and obviously 2 and 1 makes 3. They were connected like this, right, across to here, out to common, and to 1 there. And likewise with 2, that was connected here, out to common, and same with 4. And I thought, well, all that really needs to be done is these here need to be commoned, right? And which would fix it. And so I've done that. And I was just going to double check it. Make sure it's right. I've got the manual for the Syquest drive. And so I've double checked the pins. Alice was funny before. I was buzzing the buzzer, and she was looking all around behind here and all around here looking for what was making the noise. But anyway, so we've got ID 1, right? So ID 1 will be these two pins here. Those two on the right hand end. Make sure I don't touch the probes, which is correct. Nothing on 2, nothing on 4. If I switch to 2, I'm still on the common there on the bottom, but 2 should be connected now. Yes, it is, but not 4, right? Obviously. 3, 2 should still be connected, which it is, and 1 should be connected. It's just a little bit awkward. I should have put like a jumper block in there. Correct, right? And then if I switch up to 4, that left hand one should be, yeah. So this is working now. I don't know why someone had snipped these two cables that should have been going to common here. They were snipped back. It's, yeah, a bit weird. Anyway, that should be working now. The other thing I did I didn't really put much thought into it, to be honest. I thought, oh, you know, it'd be nice to back up my my Syquest cartridges, and I thought, I'll get an adapter from this, what's that, this 25 pin to the 50 pin, so that I can plug it into my PC. Ordered it. Luckily it wasn't very expensive, because if I had have put a bit more thought into it, it wouldn't have taken much thought either. I can plug directly into the Syquest drive here with a 50 pin connector, and that's exactly what I did yesterday. So I hooked up this drive here to my PC, and I backed up all my I backed up all my Syquest cartridges. Yeah, so anyway, I've got a connector so I can just easily plug in that to a 50, so I don't have to take all the screws out, lid off, and muck around disconnecting cables, stuff like that. It's going to be a little bit more convenient, so it wasn't a complete waste of money. That's my excuse anyway. Problem I've got at this stage, which I haven't quite worked out yet, is this is sitting on the end of the chain as such, right? So we've got the terminating resistors here. This sits on the end of the chain. I can't remember what ID I had selected, but it shouldn't really matter as long as I don't have a conflict. The first device on the chain, this is coming from the external, from the back. Oh yeah, could be quite handy, these different adapters, eh? But this is the external, this is plugged into the external port on the back of the SCSI card and the Amiga. So that's the first one in the chain. It's ID 5. There's 5 or 6 is the only option on these iAmigas, zip drives, SCSI ones. And then off the back of this, I've got daisy chain, you know, the super drive here. And that works fine. I can boot from the removable disk here, Supra, Syquest, and use the zip drive there as my data drive, data partitions, whatever, works fine. I can also remove the cartridge from this drive here so that it won't boot off it, and I can boot from the zip drive if I want as well. And in fact, if I had a non-bootable disk in the Super drive, obviously I could use that for data as well, so vice versa, works well. The only caveat is I have to, and it kind of makes sense, is the although the zip drive is the first in the chain as such, you would think you might get away with turning off the Syquest, but I guess it needs a termination. So that has to be powered on. Doesn't have to have a disk inserted, it just has to be powered on. So a couple of wee things to think about there. The problem I've got is this optical drive here, that's running from the internal connector, the 50 pin. Works fine. Yeah. It'd be nice to be able to just flip a switch and have that terminate on and off on the Syquest, but I don't think that's possible. Not easily anyway. So this works, right? No problem with both these external SCSIs connected. What I haven't been able to work out is how to get a hard drive and the optical drive and the iOmega zip and the Syquest running. And the reason I'd like to be able to do that is the whole idea of the this setup here is that so when I'm streaming, I can easily just grab another one of these cartridges. If I want to change the operating system or, mess about, that's got OS 3.5 on it. I don't know, if I wanted to fire up 3.9 or I want to do bloody 2 or whatever, I can just literally swap these out without having to lift the lid on the computer and swap hard drives and dick around, I can actually put the lid back on. But what I would like, because the storage capacity is only 44 on this and it's only 100 on the zip, is I'd like to have a hard drive installed that I could use for bulk storage, even if it's one of those 2 gig drives I've got, for the Amigas. That'll be quite cool. But I haven't been able to get it to work, so I might spend a little bit of time today. Yeah, I tried disabling what I think is the termination on these HP drives, and from what I can see, that pin there, so this left-hand jumper here, that little one there, that's labelled TE, which I'm assuming is termination enable. But I don't get any luck either way I set that. So whether it's something to do with a combination of different things, yeah, I mean, that makes no difference, but it could be something else that's causing the issue. Some combination of factors as far as termination is concerned. So I'm assuming you'd need to terminate both cables, right? Because you've got your internal 50 and your external 25. This is terminated. Yeah, this is terminated. I'll double check that optical drive, but I tried both the hard drive and the optical drive on that 50 pin cable, terminated as you'd expect it to need to be, and it didn't like it. So I'm going to have a wee play with that. But it's nice now that I've got this working, and you know, I can select that ID quite easily there. That's pretty handy. So I'll whack that back in the drive there. Did you finish your rev head last night, Carsey? I tried to watch the whole lot, but I just, yeah, I was a bit tired, and yeah, sleep got the better of me. Now, which way was that again? Pin 1, yeah, that's right. I've got a photo too of that. Which way was it connected when I took it off? That would be an interesting thing. Bear with. Because my first thought was maybe that this pin, this here was round the wrong way, you know, and that was screwing things up. Oh, yeah. I think I made it to about 11. Let me just have a quick look at my gallery here, because I did take a photo of that. Maybe it was on my camera. Yeah. Yep. So it was connected with the red stripe to the left, which is what it is now. That's what you're looking at there, basically. Yeah, that was connected correctly. So I will go ahead and test this out. I find it easier to test the IDs by plugging it into the PC, because the Adaptec controller gives you pretty much instant feedback as far as your IDs are concerned, whereas with the Amiga, you know, go into your HD toolbox and whatnot. A bit of, I guess I can still do that, but it's just a bit easier on the PC. So plug that back in. So I don't think I need to remove these terminators, right? Because this is at the end of the chain on the external cable. I'll whack a couple of screws in there at least, because bloody, you never know what the cat's going to do. I've got to be aware of that now too while I'm working. I can't just leave a machine on the bench now that I've got the back off, you know, if I'm testing bits and pieces, replacing caps or whatever, and then just testing without the cover on, you know, which I do from time to time, just quickly test something. Can't do that, not with the cat around. I was always pretty careful about it anyway, would never leave it, you know, sitting like that with any covers off for a long time, but it's just something to be aware of. I'm going to be, I'll put these screws in. It's a sign of confidence that it's working as well, eh? 2 races. So did you find that, Lucy, was it? Lucy that you, what's the story with that? Is it sort of just random who turns up? And I take it it's those people that are waiting on the side of the road they're looking for races, right? And I take it Lucy just sort of will turn up at some stage. Is that, or did you finish that? Yeah. Rightio. Let's make some room. I'll tell you what, I think I'll put the Supra over this side. That's good. Power up. How's your King's birthday going anyway, mate? Nice to have a day off, isn't it? Forgot to check what ID I've got set. The optical drive is ID 3. I was going to test it on the computer, wasn't I? But I'm not. I'm just going to whack it straight in the Amiga. I'm setting the Supra as ID 4. And the zip drive is ID 5. 3, 4, 5. And I'm pretty sure my hard drive's set to 1. But double check that. If I run into any issues, I'll need to double check that. Right. Let's just make sure this is running. Sexual making ram curtains. What was it offended about? Ram curtain. Didn't like ram curtains. You dirty bugger. What wouldn't it like about that? Oh, that's cool. Right, Super Drive's fired up. Let's just shove a cartridge in. Okay, it's ready. 43 sticks. Use 40 old one. Classic. Right, Amiga. Just make sure I'm back to square one here. Super drive's booting, so that's a start. Okay, it's booting. So it's happy. Let's see what HD Toolbox reports. Make sure everything's happy there. Fairly sure it will be. No, that's not going to work, is it? Unfortunately, this is about the best I'll be able to do at this stage. But you'll get the gist of it. Tools here. You know, I found the Toolbox, HD Toolbox that came, you know, that this one here, it's the 3.5 version. The system didn't like it. It doesn't pick the drives up. I copied the old HD Toolbox, and it detects everything, right? So 5, yes, I am eager. Oh, look at that, Syquest address 2. So yeah, something's still not quite right with those jumpers, eh? Oh well. That's a minor thing. As long as, yeah, I'll have a look at that next time I've got the lid off again. Not quite sure why that's. Oh yeah, could be, eh? This unknown one, that's the optical drive. But what I do need is I need a drive that's not bootable, because it will conflict, and I wonder if maybe that's why I had issues. Maybe it was trying to boot. Yes, this is set to ID2. This drive here is set to ID2. This other one I've got question marks over. This one here, this HP drive here, got faulty question mark on it, had a few issues. But if I just set the ID, just have to work out where the bloody ID jumpers are. Default is 0, A0, A1, A2. Yeah. Yeah, could be, eh? Could be definitely worth doing that. This doesn't make sense though, these jumpers. Hang on. It says SCSI ID 0, but I've got ID 2 written. See this label here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unpopulated jumpers, and then you can see the black area, that's that flock of 4. Now I'm assuming it's this. That'll be that black block of 4 that's, you know, that there. And all pins are unjumpered, which is off, 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 is ID 0. But for some reason I've got ID 2 on here, written on here. I could actually hook it into old Stormy down here and confirm that. Let's do that. Because the way I read that is we're set to ID 0. Let's just fire that up. Yeah, ID 2. ID 2. It's a bit weird, isn't it? But I need to set that to probably ID 4. I'll chuck a jumper on there and just see what we get and what I think should be ID 4. Oh shit, I just dropped a whole lot of jumpers. Oh no. Oh, Alice is going to have fun. Lots of coloured jumpers. Oh, bugger. Or a fumble. Luckily only about 6 of them fell on the floor. The rest of them were in my lap. Rightio, I'll go for a green. Don't ask me why I got coloured jumpers. Oh, there's a few more. Oh, they're falling off my shirt. Oh man. It's riveting stuff. Okay, let's set it to what I think should be ID 4, which would be hang on. What did I say? ID 2. ID 2. A1 should be on, but it's not. Everything's off. It's weird. If I want ID 4, I just put A2 on. That's the one closest to the black. The one closest to the black jumpers block there. That black block. A2. ID 4. They're actually smaller than standard jumpers too. I'm assuming that's making electrical connection to join those two there. Let's just try that. See what the adapter picks up. Yeah, AliExpress. Oh, it's picking up ID6 now. ID6, that should be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. It just doesn't make sense. ID6 is A1 on and A2 on. And all I've got is A2 on. I mean, it makes sense. It's binary again, right? 6 is a 4 and a 2. But I've just got it set to 4. Anyway, who knows? Yeah, that could be really handy actually, couldn't it? Color coding your jumpers on your motherboards. Could be bloody handy. Okay, I'm going to give this a go. Now, just turn that off anyway. Right, I've got termination enabled on this. Termination enabled. Termination short off. So termination is the short. So to terminate the drive, the short, you take the jumper off. The jumper's on, which would imply it's not terminated. 1, 2, 3. Pin 4 is reserved. Pin 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that how you would read it? Termination dash short off. So unshorted is terminated. Short means that the termination is disabled. It's the way I read that, which is what it is at the moment. Short, pin shorted, so the termination's off, which doesn't quite make sense either because this is the last device in the chain. Unless I'm reading that the wrong way. But anyway, I think this will probably fail to boot. Make sure I get these cables around the right way. Okay, and I do need to pretty sure I'll need to turn the super drive on, but have the disk out. Well, disk is disabled. Okay, Yeah. Hard drive spinning up. Hard drive lights on solid. Shit, you know what? It's working. Huh. It's bloody working. That's handy. Okay. So I'm wondering if last time when I tried it, I might have had the super drive turned off, and that might have been causing this to stop booting, even though I had the hard drive. Just having the hard drive on there led me to believe that that was why it wasn't booting, is some sort of termination issue. It might have just been that. That would explain it. Well, that's handy. So now what I can do is I can hook up a drive and call it a data drive. I might give this another go. Well, that's real handy. I'm just going to wing this one, see what we get. See if I can actually, like partition it. This one's empty, as far as I know. Oh, it might have something on it. I might have tried to get something onto it. But this might be a complete fail. So here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely corresponding. It probably won't boot because I don't think this has got a bootable. Oh, maybe it will. Yeah, it's not happy. That's not booting. Lights on, no one's home. Let's crank up the Supra. No. She's not happy with that drive. I think what I'll do is, before I go too far, is I'll back this drive up, current state, and then just blow it away and see whether I can use it as a data drive. Either that or I select a data drive, like another hard drive, but all the hard drives are in a bloody container out in the garage. I can't be bothered going to get it. Do I have them here? I do have them here actually. Can I be I mean, this drive will be good because it's a big drive. So what did I say? ID6. ID6. Let's just do the old backup-a-rooney. I couldn't believe how easy it was to win that or finish that mission, that last mission on FA-18 interceptor. I had seen reports that it was possible, but sort of weird. You know, I think the objective is to sink the sub, but I saw people saying you don't. Well, some people, they actually did sink the sub just by pumping lots and lots of munitions into it. Other people say can't sink it, just, you know, firing everything they have at it, reloading, doing the same thing over and over. They just can't sink it. And then I saw someone mention, I'll just try shooting down the enemy jets, the MiGs, and that's exactly what I did. And bingo, finished it. But I like how you can land on the enemy carrier and refuel, rearm. Pretty funny. So once I get this drive cleared off, I can partition it and use it as a data drive. Should be handy. There's all my Syquest backups here. These are all the Syquest cartridges. I did that the other night when I was lurking on your stream, Cassie. It was a good little project done. Now, where did I put these? Hard drive, no. Oh yeah, 4 computers, that's this one here. I've got the latest backup and I've got the latest backup. I'm just going to rename that. Oh. 2.1. HP. That'll do. Okay, just getting those renamed so that I don't confuse these backups here. Add a hard drive. 2 gig. Okay, that's going to take a little while there. So I've got a bunch of these files on here I've got as backups for this specific machine. You know, they're configured. They've got the drivers for, you know, that this specific Amiga. And then I've got backups. These are all hard drive backups, so individual, some zips there as well, zip disks, and the Syquest one. And the WHD load image that I can mount and just drag games straight out of. So this will be quite handy for, you know, just dumping WHD load games straight onto this rather large hard drive. Yeah. Pretty amazing work. It's bloody handy. It's pretty simple too. Hey, you just load this image in the emulator and just drag the files across to your hard drive. Pretty straightforward. Oh, now the progress. The progress is not progressing. That didn't finish already, did it? Maybe I shouldn't have messed around. And this, yeah, I've shown this before, but it locks up the emulator here when you do this disk imaging for some reason. Now, I don't know what happened to that file. Oh, maybe it did finish. That seemed quick. Okay. Yeah. Bit broken, all right. But yep, that finished. I'm sure it did. So that's looking good. So I can wipe it now. Make sure I take out the right bloody drive. Oh, clean the wrong drive. It's always fun. 2 gig. Yes, correct. Clean. Easy. Okay. So that is a clean drive there. Okay. Okay. We're ready. Hang on a minute. I thought I cleaned the disk. Wait on. It's anyway, I can do it from within. Oh. That's weird. I was sure I cleaned that disk. Okay. Will it let me blow the partition away from within? Let's see. Let's give it a go. Yeah. And yes, but I don't want to blow away. I should be fine. I don't want to blow away my Syquest either. Which system is this correct one though? Oh, that's the Syquest one. I can hear the bloody thing. Not that it really matters, eh? Any of the HD toolbox should work. Okay, HP, right? Partition the drive. Delete. Delete. Double checking SCSI address 6. I can't delete that one. It won't let me. Maybe because I've booted from it. Delete. Maybe I just changed it to bootable no. Will it let me do that? Yes. And then, okay, reboot. And it should boot off the Syquest. Yes, it is. Or is it? Yes, it is. The old Syquest is not fast, eh? I think the zip drive's slightly faster, and that might be a little bit more practical to use, you know, as a bootable system. Let's see if I can take this partition out now. No, it won't let me. Advanced options. Auto mount this partition. Yeah, I can. I guess in that case I can just format it, eh? Like set it to what size I want and then just format the bloody thing. Change the device name. What have I got? I've got DH0, DH1, DH2. See if it'll let me do this. This will destroy DH0, that's fine. Yep. And then I can create a brand new partition here. So if I go new partition there, make that DH4, not bootable. Reboot. So that gives me two 1 gig partitions. Okay, and so those partitions should show up. There's one. Look at that, DH4 colon D divided by, or slash 177 divided by slash 204. I can't see that other. Did I cock up that partitioning? Chug. DH3, where the hell's DH3 gone? Maybe. Yeah, I can't see DH3. I don't know why. Do you really want to? I'm still not seeing DH3. Maybe I could try blowing it away and re-adding it. Delete. There we go. So new partition there. DH3. Not bootable. Save. Yeah. Reboot. Just give it a second. There it goes. Uninitialized. Format. Hello. Took a while. Let's call it work 2. Quick format. Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Games 2, work 2. I was going to transfer my games and stuff from the zip drive. What do I have? Yeah, so the system is the Syquest 25.9 meg free. %39% full. Yeah, sounds about right. 16 meg in use. You can hear Alice playing in the hall, running up and down the place. Okay. Let's just reboot, see if we get this zip to pick up. A little bit. It's all right. It doesn't matter. Right, we've got work, games, work 2 and games 2. These are all my WHD load games here that I've got installed. Most of them anyway. So the next question is if I copy all these games to the hard drive and then reboot, eject the zip and reboot, should all work, right? I'm assuming. Let's give it a go. Back in a sec, just gonna grab a drink. Right, let's do the copy. So games will be our source. If I lock that as the source, and games 2 we want to be the destination, so let's lock that as the destination and select all files, copy. That might take a while. Blinking lights. Yes, that is going to take some time, isn't it? Well, these computers can multitask, can't they? What will we try? Is it going to multitask? Yes, it is. This might throw a spanner in the works with it, though. Trying to play music. Player. I thought Hippo Player was out here. Where is Hippo Player gone? There he goes. Play some music while we're waiting. Where did I put it? Work, music. Yep. I should also check that the CD-ROM is still working. Oh, it's finished there. Try the Aminet 5 disc. there. Working fine. Okay, that's good. Nearly got this computer to the point where I can, mount everything in there, the hard drive, the optical drive, and button it down. I might actually put in a new battery. I think that's about the only thing that really needs to be done. Everything else looks fairly well in order. On the card. It's a hard card setup. It's the A2000, A2000 HC8 plus or something. Yeah, can't quite remember the exact model number. Okay, that's everything copied. Yep. Pretty good. The next question is, can I boot the machine from the super drive when the zip drive's ejected? Let's try that. I think because the power's still on, it should work right, even though the media's just ejected. Same as this, I would expect. This is going to make a very versatile little system. I'm really enjoying the Amiga 2000. I know they're not sort of looked at as the ideal system, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's so cool because it's so expandable. I know that a lot of the expansions are expensive and whatnot, but I'm lucky enough to have some, and that makes it a whole lot better for me, with the 2000s. Right. Yeah. I'll show you something, Cassie. I found in the wardrobe. I haven't even looked into it as to what it actually does. I've got a fair idea. Let me just show you. Let's move a bit of stuff here. I found a few drives, hard drives as well, that I need to back up. No, I don't think so. I think at this stage, I'm going to use the removable drives for booting. And then just use the hard drive for storing. Basically data, work/games. In that sense. This VidTech Video Master. So it's some sort of mixer. You've got switches here, composite, S video, direct, codec, reference key, Amiga, key reverse. There's a couple of sliders for... No toasters, unfortunately. But in saying that, there are, what do they call them? Gen locks. I've got a couple of gen locks. I've got one for the... Oh, actually, do I have gen locks for the Amiga 2000? I think I do. From memory, I've got gen locks. Yeah, I know the toaster would be really awesome. Yeah, you have to have pretty deep pockets to get a toaster these days, I'm sure. But yeah, I might have a wee play with a bit of video editing or video production. I go real old school and crack out the old VHS recorder, camcorder. I think I've got it working VHS camcorder somewhere. Aye, right. Yeah, I sort of wonder whether, someone was using this for video production, one of these Amigas that I've got. Because there's, yeah, a couple of gen locks. We've got that VidTech mixer. And, video production software. Right, yeah. I wonder if they converted it after the fact somehow, eh? But yeah, as far as the booting from the internal hard drive, I could do that. But if I want, I'm just sort of wondering about the implications if I wanted just to use a different OS because I felt like it. It's like, oh, today I'm going to run, I feel like running 3.9 or 2, which is what these removable drives are pretty handy for. Oh, g'day, Cammy. How's it going? Set the hard disk after the Syquest. Do you mean have it on? Do you mean physically on the cable? Because what's going to happen is if I have the hard drive bootable, it's going to take precedence, isn't it? It's going to boot no matter, well, is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would be a tidy solution, wouldn't it? So what's your vote for operating system on the spinner? I mean, bearing in mind that the computer below it, this one here, that's got 3.9 on it. Yep. Okay, yeah. That sounds like a good plan. Emmy Game Jam 2024. Oh, I'll have to look into that. So, I think that maybe I should do the install. Do I do it old school from the floppies? Or, tell you what, do I have a 3.1 install? I think I do. I could just image it across. I think I've got one. That's what I was going to do. I was going to see whether these games work. These icons on the desktop here, the desktop in quotes, will be pointing to the wrong partitions, I think. So I don't think I can use those. I've got them on physical disk here. Thanks anyway. Or actually, I've got an image. I think that I might just dump on there. Might be the plan. But these won't work, right? Because they're pointing to different. Let's try it. What's it going to do? It's going to work. Yeah, look, it's grabbing it off the hard drive. Even though originally, is it going to work? Oh, that's interesting. So WHD load. Yeah, that's the one. Interesting fun fact. These WHD load games were on this zip drive here, and I literally just copied them to the hard drive and ejected the zip and rebooted. And the icons, which would normally, I would have thought, would point to the zip, doesn't matter, it just runs. Yeah, I like doing things the old way. It just, I don't know, it's like reminiscing. Okay, let's dump a 3.1 install on here. Yeah, that was a good outcome. I was wondering whether, do you think, because at the end, right at the end there, I think Carcinomi, the machine was showing the same symptoms as before you started, and I think was it bad ROMs? Do you think maybe if you had to change the ROMs right at the start, it might have actually worked? Well, I understand it had bad caps and they needed to be changed, but yeah, was it the ROMs? Oh, yep, that'll do it. That will do it. I can hear the cat running around like a mad thing out in the hall. I should point the camera around. Cat cam. Is that going to get it? Oh, way. You might see a flash run past there. Where is she? I can hear ya. Come here. Come and say hello. Come and say hello. Come and say hello. You playing with Mum's bathrobe tie?
Yeah, she's stolen it and made off with it again.
Come and say hello to everyone. Yep, kitty cam. This is Alice. I think you met her last night, didn't you, Cammy? I think you've met Alice before. Should we put this up on your bed? Hey, come here. Come across here. Bed. Now she's going to spy on the neighbours. There, that'll give you something to do, something to look at while I dick around imaging at hard drive. Are you gonna lie down and go to sleep? Sounds like a pretty good thing. Not a chance. Oh yeah, she's. We reckon that she's just too cute. Like, should be illegal. Just super cute, aren't you? Eh? Just should totally be illegal. Unreal. About as cute as Remus, eh? Pretty close. Remus is super cute. Where are you going now? Yeah, over here you can... What's this? It's a mouse, look. It's a mouse. Get the mouse. Ah, yeah. Alice is not overly interested in food at the moment. It's sort of down on her list of things that she likes to partake in is eating. She is spying now on the neighbours. Funnily enough, Carcinomi, that image I took before from that HP hard drive, the one that I dumped to wipe it, and I think that had a 3.1 install on it. She's heard the hard drive spin up. There's a hard drive down here, look. Blinking lights. Eh? Yeah, that gives everyone something to look at, doesn't it? Eh? Oh, is that's a magazine collection? Is it, Kasnomi? Did it include the cover CDs? What's this? Oh, yeah. If you're missing any, let me know. Well, I think I'm sending a few to Evil C. I've got some CU Amiga and Amiga format cover discs floating around. Right, let's restore this. Geez, I can't remember, whether it's a 3.1 install or not. I guess I can quickly just restore it. It's no biggie. Right, Alice is off. What, they got 400 for how many discs? $10 a disc. That's, yeah. Yeah, I thought so. I had a look on eBay and figured out they were about, just saw what they were selling for. How much was it? I think it was about like $4. $4 seems to be about the going rate. Yeah, handy being online with your Amiga. Okay, let's do an image recovery here. Let me share that with you. It's nothing overly exciting, but something to look at, isn't it? Yeah, I'll try that latest image. That could have 2 on it. Is that the one I was ferreting around the other night? Version 2 discs. I've lost track of what I've installed. I've got a funny feeling it might be a 2. Restore virtual image onto the 2 gig. I've got a Workbench 2.1 clean. Hello Alice, you're here again, are you? Nosy again. That one. I've got it as a 2.1. Last warning. Are you sure you want to erase the disk? Yes. Who are you spying on now? Eh? Alice Cam. What's this? Yeah, you like this? Play with this. You like that one? What's that? No? Well, it's a funny noise. That's the fire siren going off. She's not too sure about. You off again? She's going to have a wee explore. She's going to have a little explore over here. She's down in here now. I've got some LPs down there. She's right in under here somewhere, having a ferret around. Come on, what are you doing? Yeah, I found that in a stash of discs. Oh, she's off now. That's going to take a wee while. Yeah, I messed around with it as well. I followed a tutorial and built up an operating system in WinUAE, which is all well and good. But when I imaged that to a physical hard drive, and it wouldn't boot because in WinUAE you can tell the drive what file system it's using, or tell the system what file system to expect. And of course you can't do that necessarily on the physical machine unless you've probably built it from scratch with the PFS3. There was no way I could tell the physical machine, hey, you're looking for a PFS3 partition. I couldn't work it out without actually having to. Oh yeah, I see. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. So you wouldn't recommend using PFS3 as your boot partition, or is it just something that's a bit difficult to get going? Yeah. Right. Yeah, I might have a wee play with it one day. Oh yeah. He's sending me, he's sending me a 2091. We're doing a trade for some CDs and bits and pieces. But I take it he's got another one that he's using in his system already. Oh, get it? Oh, jeez. I'm not overly concerned. In fact, did I find one the other day? I don't know what state it's in. I had to test it yet. But it would be quite nice to have another hard drive bootable Amiga, and yeah, but he may want to keep the other one as parts. I don't know. I'll make a good one out of two. But I've got that one there. That's got version 6.1 ROMs. Yeah. Man, I've been searching everywhere for my bloody Bridgeboard cards. I've got 2 of them. You think I can find the bloody things? No. They'll turn up one day. It's just, it's annoying me because I really wanted to dick around with the Bridgeboards now that I know a little bit more about some of the DOS systems as well, the older DOS systems, I remember messing around with them for a little bit and then thinking, geez, I think it was an XT Bridgeboard that I messed around with, and I remember thinking, oh, it's so slow and there's only 1 mega RAM or something on it, and I was thinking, what the hell can you use this for? But of course, now that I know a bit more about what you can do with an XT, you could play some pretty cool little games on it, eh? Now I remember having it set up, I think I had like dual screens, so you could have one screen was like a DOS and the other screen was the Amiga. I had a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I want to have a wee play with, maybe on another computer, because I'll leave my current ones all set up. The ones I've been working with that you've seen on stream here, these 2 here. This machine here with the 040 in it, I probably need to spend a bit more time with it. I've really just sort of thrown it together and not done much with it. Spent quite a bit of time, as you know, with this 030 machine, which I'm falling in love with. Oh, okay. Oh, geez, yeah. No, I'm not really sure. Of drive controllers. I've got 2 GVPs, one in each of those systems I just showed you, and that 2091, which I don't know the state of. So, but he offered it to me, and I thought, oh, you know, if he wants to do a trade, we could do that. And that gets me another hard drive into another machine. But I actually want to set up a floppy system and just do it, you know, like it used to be done, without a hard drive, and just, you know, set up. I remember setting up. It was a RAM disk that would survive a warm boot. So you could basically, you know, run the thing just from RAM. Oh yeah, yeah, that's something I didn't look into. I watched a video that what's his name, Gadget UK did, and I learned a bit from that. So now I know what you're talking about as far as the DMAC is concerned. Yeah, so that's the 390563-02. That one, eh? Later revision. So I guess, does that give you the ability to, you know, for it to detect bigger drives? Is that what the story is there? Just say, I'm no expert. I'm just living and learning, really. Bloody, some of these subjects are quite deep, aren't they? You know, once you start getting into this stuff, especially when you're kind of into PC and some of the, you know, I'm not into the Holy Trinity as such, but there are a lot of other systems I'm interested in as well. Oh yes, because oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yep, I know. With Gadget snorting and sniffing, it's like. So he was having major trouble on one of those videos with it horrendously slow. Oh yeah. We could do with some dreary weather, actually, Cammy. It's just too bloody sunny all the time here. I was born and bred in a city which was grey, overcast. And now I'm in an area where there's virtual sunshine the whole time. And it seems funny to say, but sometimes I just wish for a bit of overcast. Yeah. Honestly, it sounds weird, but sometimes it's just like, oh, it'd be nice to go out and not get frickin' frazzled to a cinder every time, you know, slapping bloody sun lotion on all the time and worrying about getting UV irradiated. Sometimes I wish for a bit of cloud. Yep. Yeah, I hear that Tasmania is like South Island weather. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, hard drive is imaged. It could well be version 2 on here. Off with ya. Let's eject that disk there. People look at me strange when I say stuff like that around here, because most of the people around here are bloody sun worshippers. They're like, what? Are you crazy? Did I hear right? The weather's nice. In fact, the weather's very nice here. In saying that, I know I'm moaning about it, but the thing I really like about this area is the winters. They are calm, very sunny, which is handy. And I'm bitching about the sun as well, but in the winter it's really good because the sun warms your house up nicely. We've got a house that faces the sun nicely, and it warms the living area up, so you don't need any heating, or not so much heating during the day. And did I restore that drive? I'm sure I did. What's that burning off? You get frosty mornings and beautiful still sunny days. Dead calm. And it could be like still only 10 degrees or something like that. But just really nice. There's hardly any wind, so it doesn't really feel all that cold. The summers here are sort of reasonably sunny. We get quite a decent sea breeze here, and it's quite wet. It's wetter than Dunedin, where I was brought up. Dunedin's kind of a bit drier, funnily enough. I think there's actually less rainfall in Dunedin than what there is here, although we've had a drought. We've just gone through quite a drought, still in drought at the moment, which is quite unusual for this area. It's just the El Nino weather pattern, I think it is, that's caused that. But normally it's quite wet. We get a bit of rain. It's green. I went down Central Otago this Christmas just been this, and man, it's just dry. Man, it was dry down there. My lips started to chap, within the first 2 days. Man, and geez, it was hot and cold down there actually. We had a 5-degree frost one morning. This is in the middle of summer, and it was absolutely beautiful. I love it down there. We used to go for our Christmas holidays there. Just absolutely beautiful. But we had a 5-degree frost in the middle of summer, and then like 2 days later it was 35. So it was crazy. Workbench version 38.12. Anyone know what that is off the top of their head? Isn't 40's like 3.1, isn't it? Yeah, because this Kickstart version is 40. Yeah, I thought it might have been. What's this DH, these non-DOS? Is that my, that can't, zip drives, would it be? What's that? Oh, because it's a different, is it for a different operating system? Yeah, what are these? That's weird. Yes, 3.1 ROM. Yeah, that's correct. Address 2 That's the, hang on a second. Address 5 is a zip, address 3 is the optical, so that's the Syquest. It's not reading that though. DH1A and DH2A, non-DOS. It's weird. Let's try a reboot there. Having a wee King's birthday celebration. It's bizarre, isn't it? Where's... I wonder if it's something to do with maybe having had the zip drive installed when I... Let's have a look. If I put the zip disk in, it's not picking up the zip. But that could just be different versions. Could it be the file system? I don't know. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, no worries at all. I'm happy with that. Thanks for that. Yeah. Drives have been added. That'll be the Omega. It says it's changed, but do I want to save that? Yeah, okay. Let's see what it does there. Thank you. No, that's great. The more the merrier. Just trying to, I'll try installing the zip disk while I boot. Might be a plan. Yeah, that's got it. That'll have the music folder, yeah. Okay. That's cool. Still not sure what these are. Some hangover from something. 3.1. I'd actually quite like to do it fresh on this machine. I probably do have other 3.1 images actually that I could use. That drive there is not a happy camper. Don't know what's up with it. All the jumpers are set exactly the same as the one that I've got on the machine. I've got question marks as in faulty on it. Tempted to plug it into old Stormy down here and just see, you know, whether I can get any sense out of it at all. So while I do that, let's see here. Do we have any music? Might not have put the music player on this machine. Tell you what would be a good test is if I want to try and boot now from the Supra drive. Now that this hard drive's in the system and is bootable as well, I need to set the advanced options, boot priority. So the lower the number, the less likely it is it's going to boot, if you know what I mean. So I want to probably have my Supra set higher than this, right? Like -5 or something like that, or whatever it is. I'm just going to try it. Higher number wins. Yeah. Let's see what Supra is. I've got a funny feeling that's 0. Let's see. Merry King's birthday, everyone. It's booting from the hard drive. Okay. Right, let's set the priority then. ID 2, Syquest. Partition. Bootable, yes. Advanced. Oh, -70. Okay. I'm talking crap then, aren't I? Let's make it -5. Is it going to have a problem with that trailing? Let's do that properly. Oh no, that's how it wants it. Okay. Save. Save failed. Not. I've seen this before. You can't see it because I don't have a camera pointed at it. Save failed. Not enough space for configuration data. I haven't figured this out. And this is whenever I try to change anything on the... oh yeah, okay. So try low-level format or removing the file system partitions. Good point. Good point. So if I just make that -80, right? Something like that. That'll do. Is that right? It didn't ask me to save it. Oh, because I didn't hit enter. Don't forget to hit enter. Save changes. Syquest has changed, but see... Did it change it? No, it can't save it. Anyway, See, I tried to change this to SDH0. Sorry, I tried to change it from SDH0 to DH0, which is what I want it to be, because it's just tidy. And I had that same error. It didn't like it. And that was before I figured out that I could hook this actual drive here, the Syquest drive, directly up to my PC with a 50-pin cable, in which case I could have just done a clean on the drive and everything would have been happy. I'm sure that would have worked. But I didn't. What are we going to have now, peoples? It's booting off Syquest. Is it? Yes, I think it is. Yep. Yep. Wow, that's bloody handy, isn't it? This is exactly what I wanted to achieve, and it's working out. It's great. Perfect. Okay. While I do some attempted data recovery or hard drive recovery, we'll just get some music going here. Can't remember where we were. Down here somewhere, maybe. Back in a second, guys. Right, let's plug this drive in. Right, it's picking up on ID6, which is correct, although the jumper's confused the hell out of me. Doesn't seem to correlate, but anyway, it's picking it up as ID6, same as the other drive. Carcinomi, that rejuvenator you were talking about, I sailed the 7 seas on that one, but I couldn't quite get it to play ball. I'm wondering if there's some other way to
This won't take much of your time.
you know, to recover that thing. Oh, is it DOS, is it? You know, I'm tempted to just even try formatting it for Windows here. It's online. Clean it. Let's see if it accepts an image. Just out of interest. There's a workbench 3.1 there, but I'm tempted to try it with a known good one which I've just restored. Progressing. Something.
This won't take much of your
Yeah. So what's the plan? Are you streaming tonight, Kelsey? Gonna try and finish that game? Rev heads. It's a nice relaxing game to watch actually. Yeah, I enjoy that one. Bit of racing combined with a bit of rebuilding cars and things like that. It's pretty cool.
Get ready. Get ready.
Jeez, the super drive's slow. Juggy, juggy, jug. Is it gonna play ball?
The world is under attack.
Oh, it might do.
The world is under attack.
Yeah, this is a mod pack that I downloaded. I saw that one. I actually downloaded that one you mentioned the other day, the 100 best mods, Amiga mods. Because that's a good pack that you've got. This one's not too bad. I've listened to it a few times, I think. Well, most of them anyway. Okay, not too far off now, and this image should be good. Actually, I'll be able to test it by trying to mount it and boot from it in the emulator. So let's do that. Let's get the emulator going. Okay. Let's add the hard drive. And start it, see what happens. Wow, I think it's booting. It is booting. Okay, interesting. I'm just going to kill that. I'm just going to shut this thing down. I'll try it in this Amiga here. The pointer in the Oh, an emulator. It was just, yeah, it doesn't like the Rust Desk remote software that I'm using. Let's just remove these. So it doesn't, yeah, pointer just flicks all over the show. So I actually have to use the keyboard and mouse that's plugged into the physical computer, which I couldn't be bothered doing. So I just killed it because I know that was booting. And this one, I'm hoping this drive's actually working. I thought it was faulty. It's been flaky, I think, is probably the best description. But whether it's faulty, flaky, or just flaky because of different configurations I've had. Right, let's see if she plays ball. It's making the right sounds. It's working. Is it? No, it's not. Yeah, hard drive lights on continuously here. But let me just double check that this configuration will actually work with that other drive that I know boots. Checking the jumper settings are the same. Yeah, they are. Both those drives got the same image on it, so, and the identical drives, identical jumper settings, so, you know, should work. Yeah, so potentially I'm up against those issues with the faulty drive, potential faulty drive. Let's try it again. A sanity check. See, it gets to there and fails. Oh, no, it's not. Well, we get an unexpected status on the SCSI drive controller. Unit 3 unexpected status. That's the CD-ROM. It's weird. Huh. If I unplug the CD-ROM, actually that cable felt quite loose in that optical drive there. So wondering if it was not quite plugged in properly, but you know, you saw it work with the other drive. Yeah, I think I'm battling a faulty hard drive. Yeah, I had some weird message there, but it's actually booting. I had a quick message flick up there that I don't get with the other drive. Oh, it might be something to do with it not having the ROM drive plugged in. Yeah, this is working. Okay. Doesn't quite explain why it's not working when I have the CD-ROM plugged in, because, as I say, they're identical configurations. Let's try it again. Yeah, it's not happy. And I'm not getting that error anymore. Just getting a black screen. I think the drive is faulty. But I'm not 100% convinced. Oh, there we go. We actually have something up again, complaining about the status, unexpected status of the optical drive. Continue. Doesn't let me continue. System has a read error. Ah, there we go. System has a read error on this block. Retry. It's not, drive's not happy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering if it will. I mean, it's not necessary. I don't even know why I'm trying to get that drive running. I just thought that maybe a quick go at it might be worth another go. But the whole idea is to put a 3.1 on here. So I might even just image a 3.1 onto this if I've got a clean image. Actually, I should start building images of different operating systems so that I can quickly just image it without having to dick around, you know, installing manually. So just look for an image, 3.1 image that's going to be useful in the meantime anyway, at least. Yeah, I don't know if I trust today. I've got plenty of other SCSI drives. I'm not overly concerned. In saying that though, it is quite nice to have a big drive like that. I think they are the biggest SCSI drives that I've got in the 50 pin area. They seem like quite a nice drive. That's an HP. These are HP ones. But I think they just rebranded Seagates, maybe? I'm not 100% sure. Could well be talking out of my ass. It's just what I think I read. Now, fire up. Or Stormy, see if I can find a 3.1. Not sure I've got a 3.1 clean image. In fact, if I don't have one, I'm tempted to do, you know, like a standard install from floppy, old school, and then image the drive and have that as a base that I can work from. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, eh? I mean, I guess I could bash one out in the emulator. It's real quick then. And then just image it over. Got a Workbench 3.1 here with I've just labelled it as DH0 only. That one could be worth a look at because it's a 2 gig disk image, and I wonder if I've done that just for this reason in the past. G'day Evil C. How's your king's birthday going? Mine's going great. I mean, couldn't get much better, right? Dicking around with Amigas. think this is a reasonably clean. Yeah, man, it's gone quick, hasn't it? Jeez. Right, we'll wait for that to bake. In the meantime, we can listen to a bit of music and have a chat. So, what I thought was going to be a difficult procedure has turned out to be very easy. Just to give you an idea, you will see what I'm up to. I've got this Amiga 2000, which you know you've seen on the stream before. And what I wanted to achieve was, just let me know if that music's too loud too. What I wanted to achieve is I wanted to have a hard drive installed in this machine. Not necessarily to boot off, we'll get to that, but just to have as a repository for stuff like WHD load games, music, bits and pieces, tools, and to be able to boot from either the super drive or the SCSI zip drive there, which that's working perfectly fine. I've got that sorted, right? No problem whatsoever. Problem is the other day when I was messing around with this, I plugged in a hard drive and it wouldn't boot. It stopped everything from booting. I couldn't get anything working. It's when the hard drive was installed. And so today I thought I'd revisit it, and I thought I was going to have to be, I honestly thought I was going to be dicking around with termination, you know, drive, not the position of the drive on the cable and all that sort of crap. IDs, no problem. But I plugged in my hard drive and assigned an appropriate ID to it, and the bloody thing just worked. I don't know what the hell I was doing last time. I don't know why it didn't work. It must have been something to do with the configuration I had at the time. But it's working now. And so the idea, as I say, was to boot from either of these and have that drive as a repository. Carcinomi suggested maybe I could have the hard drive as bootable. And I was sort of scratching my head thinking, well, then, you know, if I've got a bootable drive here and I've got the hard drive as bootable, well, then they might conflict. And of course, you've got priorities. Carcinomi reminded me that I could set priorities, and that's exactly what I did. And so I had a 2.1 install on the hard drive. I set the priority lower, I think. Lower than the super drive. So and the zip drive. So if there's a Supra or a zip installed, it will boot from those if they're bootable. But if there's not, it will step down and boot off the hard disk. And so that's kind of best of all worlds for me. That's the reason I want these to be bootable is because while I'm streaming in that, if I want to change the operating system, I can just eject disk, whack in another disk, and boot. It gives me a lot of flexibility. I don't have to have the super drive in the mix. It's just there because it's sort of shits and giggles, really, isn't it? It's just cool to have, and I like using it. It's slow, it's chunky, it's when it's loading and all that, but I just love it. It's just so cool. The zip drive, I think eventually what I'll do is I'll pull this out of the system and just set that aside. I don't know whether I'll continue using it. Maybe, I don't know whether I'm wearing it out, if you know what I mean. I guess the longer I use it, the more worn it could get. The other thing is that I've noticed too, when it's been sitting for a long time, sometimes it doesn't start up properly. So, you know, I guess I just use it as long as I can and enjoy it. And when it fails, it fails. I try and fix it. But apparently a lot of them are turning to dust and failing badly. So I'm lucky to have that. And so, you know, I might just use the zip drive, and, you know, that could fail too, right? Click of death or whatever. And I've only got one of those, so keeping an eye out for a SCSI zip just to have as a spare. But that's probably the one that I'll use for my, you know, swapping operating systems, things like that. And so that'll be the setup, is probably zip drive for swapping the OSs, hard drive to boot off if I don't have any of these connected. CD-ROM will be installed and running, and that'll be a nice versatile little system. So, pretty cool. Yeah, I heard about that. Well, I didn't know exactly what it was, but yeah, geez. Don't worry about that, sending that other 2091, you know, because you might want to use it for bits. Hey? And in fact, I found a 2091. Yeah, this here, yeah, it was in a box labelled capture, what is it? What do they call them? Just talking about it too. Genlock. It was in a box labelled Genlock, Amiga 2000 Genlock. And this has got the O2 DMAC on it as well. Now, 6.1 ROMs. So yeah, that was pretty handy to find. And that'll be, is that 2 megs of RAM? I'm not familiar. Two meg. Yeah, unknown state though. I don't know. I can't imagine it'll be faulty. It looks like it's been fairly well looked after. I took the drive off it the other day and backed it up, imaged it. And I found a whole lot of other drives too, but I just need to go through and back those up as well before I, and then if I've got all the drives backed up, I can just go berserk and friggin' image to them to my heart's content, you know? Yeah, I like the, I do like the 500s, eh? You know, I was saying about these 2000s, the 2000s I'm, you know, kind of falling in love with at the moment. They're awesome. But when it comes down to Amigas, like my favorite Amiga, mainly because of sentimentality, I always go back to the 500. I love using the 500. And I always lusted for a bloody A590 when I had a 500 back in the day. And now I've got 2 of them. And I just love messing around with that. But even though I've got the hard drives, I do like just dicking around with them floppy based, you know? It's kind of, I don't know, that's just, it's that sentimentality again, I think. Just dealing with it like I used to. This one here is, this is quite cool because it's got a RAM card on it, Supra RAM 500. That there. Try not to knock anything off. That 500 RX Super RAM. 4 meg, I think, from memory. But yeah, I love the old 500. I see one sold. Oh yeah. See a Mega 500 sold for like, what was it, $400? that file's actually finished. Let me double check that. I might be talking crap again. Yep, Amiga 500, $405. You used to be able to buy those all day, every day for like $80. It's got a 520, RF, tank mouse, a joystick, probably some of the original, it's got the original manuals, probably some original boot discs and things like that. Newly refurbished and tested A500 with all accessories as shown. The case, keys and mouse have been retro-brighted and looks stunning. It's running OS 1.3 on a Rev 6 motherboard, been recapped. It has a new 512 RAM upgrade configured to give 1 meg of chip RAM. Keyboard has a new membrane. The disk drive was stripped and cleaned. Everything has been tested except for the A520. I have tried to ensure that this will be a reliable unit, but because of age it's unknown, blah blah blah. $400. Thank you very much. I kind of wish I'd bought more of them back in the day when they were bloody $80. Oh wow. Did she? Oh my god. $2.50 for two 500s and a 1081 from the e-waste. Jeez. Oh yeah. Oh well, I mean, back in the day, okay, sold at 400, but I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, 400 at the time was probably quite good. I sold an Amiga 1200 to a guy in Australia for $400. Not that long ago. Well, could have been like 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, I guess. Which is what they were worth. Yeah, it's pretty amazing what you could get back then, back in the day, from bloody recycle centres and stuff. Let's see if this drive, what this drive's gonna do. Yeah, that looks pretty clean. That's great. Let's just chuck it in the machine and see. I'm going to chuck it in the machine, see if it boots, and then I'm going to bugger off and make tea. And then I'll be catching up with you later, Kalsonomi, on the stream. Alice hears your voice and she comes running in, looks at the screen. She's like, "Oh, is he playing Doom too? I like the blood and gore." And she likes Grand Theft Auto. She's not overly taken with rev heads. But when she hears your voice, she comes running in. She's like, oh, is it blood and gore again? Killing, death and maiming. So she's like, I might look cute, but I quite like that sort of stuff. Boot. Are you going to be a pain in the ass and not boot? What are you doing? Well, this doesn't look promising, does it? The only difference is the operating system on this one. So the 2.1 booted fine. The 3.1 not happy. And I wonder if this is some of the issue that I was having when I thought I was going to be in for a bloody you know, a battle with this, and then for some, you know, because I happen to have the 2.1 on the drive today when I tested it and it worked. It would explain it. But maybe, I wonder if it's something to do with like priority. You know, maybe I need to go into the HD toolbox and the emulator, or I don't know, boot off. Well, I can't boot off any of these drives because that's taking precedent. Is that right? No, maybe I should try. I'll try ejecting those. And just see whether it boots all by itself. It doesn't look like it's making the right sort of flickery noise, LEDs. It's interesting. Okay, well, I think I'll call it at that. And what I might do is I might do a Workbench 3.1 install from the floppy disks onto that hard drive. And that's almost a similar sort of scenario to this, eh? Oh no, I actually had read errors on that one. Yeah, I think that I might try an old school install to it and just see whether it's going to play ball. So I'll probably do that while I lurk on your stream tonight, Carsonomi, if you're streaming tonight. So, yeah, I'll call it at that. I don't really have anyone to raid that I know well enough to to raid at this time. Yeah, sounds good. We're having homemade chicken burgers for tea. So I'll go and get those on the go. And yeah, catch up with you tonight, Carsonomi, and thanks guys for watching. And thanks for keeping me company. And we'll catch you in the next stream, probably later in the week. And yeah, cheers. Have a good night. Happy King's birthday.